Hello, welcome back to Becky Bakes. Today I'm going to make crunchy lemon tops. They're individual cakes, lemony cakes, with a crunchy topping. So really they're a slight variation of lemon drizzle, but they're quite nice. So here we go. Now I've already got the oven on to gas mark 6, which is 200 Celsius 180 fan, and I've arranged my paper cases in my bun tin. Technically it's a patty tin. It's a little bit smaller than a muffin tin, and I've got yellow paper cases because we're using lemons. So I'm just going to remove that and then we'll come on to the lemon. Now we need to grate the zest off the lemon, and sometimes I would do it with a little gadget like this, which is called a zester. It's very sharp and you drag it over the lemon, you get long strands. But for this, actually I want smaller pieces because they mix in better, so I'm going to use my grater. And I'm not sure whether you use all of your grater, but on this side you've got a straight blade, and I use that for slicing cucumbers. This is the side for regular cheese. On this side I grate nutmeg, and this is the side I would do Parmesan cheese and lemons. So the zest is the very outside yellow bit. If you go down any further and get the white, it tastes nasty. So it's just the outside, and you do 2 grates and then you turn the lemon. There we are. I think that's probably about as well as I'm going to get that off there. So now in here you're going to have quite a lot stuck on the inside of the grater. Don't lose that. You can use a brush or your fingers and just get all that out. Give it a tap. And this is where the oil of lemon is, and so it's the best of the lemon flavour. So this goes in the mixing bowl with all the other ingredients, and this is made by the all-in-one method. So we put everything in the bowl together. So I can shoot the lemon in. Don't waste any. That's my lemon zest. And in here I've got margarine, 100 grams of soft margarine, and it really is very soft. It's been out of the fridge for quite a long while. If yours is hard, or if you're choosing to use unsalted butter and your butter is hard, don't be tempted to put it in the microwave because you'll finish up with just oil. So if it's butter that's very hard, cut it up into little pieces and work it in the bowl with a spoon, and it will soften up. If it's margarine, it softens up much more easily, so make sure this is soft though. Now to this I'm going to add 175 grams of self-raising flour, and that's going to have a teaspoon of baking powder. Again, don't overdo it. More is not always better. Levelish teaspoon of baking powder. Give it a bit of a stir, but it'll get mixed in with the mixer anyway. Also some sugar. I'm going to put in 100 grams of caster sugar. I love this all-in-one method, it's great. And then we need 2 eggs. I'll just move that over a little bit. And always a good idea to do them one at a time, so that you can make sure there's no shell. And again, room temperature, otherwise the mixture might curdle. And the minute that the egg touches the flour starts to give off its raising agent. So that's when you have to start thinking about how quickly you can get this mixed. Second one. So now we've got everything in there and we can start to mix. You can do it with a spoon. I'm going to use my nice quiet new mixer. See how soft my margarine is. Right. Now I'm just going to get off what's on the beaters, and you can see that this is a slightly stiffer mixture than we normally get with a cakey mixture. It's got quite a lot of flour in it, so it's quite dry, but the extra baking powder will help it to rise. So now into the tin. And this is quite a lot for 12. Don't be tempted to make more than 12. It really is a mixture for 12 cakes. So, a dessert spoon, push it off with your finger. Let it fall in. If your spoon touches the paper case will lift out of the tray and you'll find yourself in a bit of a muddle. So let it fall in. You've got a bit left, go back and top them up a little bit. Please don't lick your finger though, because it's such bad practice, and if you have a child nearby they will learn a bad habit from you. Also, after all the stuff around raw eggs and salmonella, it's never wise to take a risk. Right, there we are. Now they're going to go in the oven for about 20 minutes. But while they're cooking, we're going to make the topping. So I'll put these in and then I'll come back and I'll show you what we do for the topping. Now for the topping, we're going to use 100 grams of demerara sugar and the juice of our lemon. So I've got my board, I'm going to cut my lemon in half using a bridge, keep my fingers out of the way. And then I need to squeeze the juice. Now I could use a trusty plastic one with a bowl at the bottom. I'm going to use my lovely Alessi one because I just love it. So, bowl underneath. Get my hand out of the way so you can see it. See if you can hear the juice running down. And the thing about this is that the top is actually rounded rather than a pointed squeezer. It's a rounded one and it just fits better into the shape of the lemon. So you do get more juice out. There we are. So there's our juice. And the next thing to do is tip the juice into the sugar. The lemon juice is going to go in with the demerara sugar. And the sugar starts to dissolve. Slightly. We give it a stir, and this makes a very, very, well, I suppose gloopy is the best word, and this goes onto the hot cakes. Now if your lemon isn't very juicy, your topping will be a little bit thicker than this and it will sit on the top in a little blob. If it's a nice juicy lemon, your topping should run over the surface a little bit more, so we'll see how this works when the cakes are cooked. But there's your topping, and we just have to wait for the timer now. Now they have had 17 minutes. They're well risen, golden brown, and if you listen to them you can't hear them bubbling. That's always a good sign. So at this stage we put the topping on. So we've got our lemon juice and demerara. Give it a stir and it gets a bit messy, so leave them where they are. That runs over the top. Use a teaspoon because you can put a little bit on each one and then go back and add some more. You can hear it sizzling. You can see why it's a slightly different take on lemon drizzle. They need to cool, and they can go onto a wire rack as soon as you dare pick them up, and they keep very well for probably a week. Well, there we are, crunchy lemon tops. I think if you were making them for a child's birthday, you could put some edible glitter in that top. That would look rather nice. Have a go, send us a photograph, enjoy.